A number of buyers are out right now that are having a hard time finding financing for real estate. There is some good news and there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Listen up as we speak with one of the lenders that's able to get deals done. Stay tuned right here on the DiSpirito Team Real Estate Show.
When it first started, the mortgage business changed dramatically right away.
God, yes.
So, and as far as to your original question was, how are pre-approval letters going?
Yeah.
When it first ticked off and the mortgage business started changing the guidelines, everybody kind of stopped trying to buy houses and waited. And a lot of people didn't qualify anymore that were pre-approved before because of a FICO issue, or maybe they lost their job. You know, something like that. So in that regard, changed the way that we do business. So what I'm happy to report this week is that since those changes have happened, Movement Mortgage has actually reduced their guideline restrictions back to the way it was before the virus. What the bigger news is that we were subject to our servicers' guidelines they were forcing our hand to change the guidelines. So the companies that were collecting the mortgage payments and paying our investors, the servicers, were in charge of which ones they were going to service and which ones they weren't going to service. And because of that, we had to make them happy with restricting our guidelines so they would continue to service our loans. What has changed since then is Movement Mortgage is now servicing our own loans. So we're not selling them we're still selling them to investors, but we're servicing our own portfolio. So Movement has made the decision to continue business as usual, help the same clients, close the same loans, but miss out on the profit of selling other mortgages. So that way we can continue to help people through the virus and eventually get back to probably still selling them to get that money, like just like every other mortgage company can, once the overall mortgage business makes it acceptable to lend on a regular basis. So in the meantime, we're going to do the loans ourselves.
So what you're basically saying is that pre-approvals have increased with you, more so because you are one of the lenders that has not added an overlay, and I'll explain that in a second to our listeners, to FHA. So when this thing first came out, right, when COVID first hit, what happened was interest rates plummeted. Everyone rushed the market. They were like, hey, let's refinance. Let's get a 2.8, 2.9% rate.
And now with this change of us servicing our own loans, we now maintain the control over which loans we're going to service, basically. And as long as we're following the overall guidelines of FHA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, USDA, and VA, and the rule book that they put out, we'll continue to close these loans. And I know that there's a variety of other lenders that have actually, some of them shut down their FHA government loans. They're not writing any of them at all. And then there are others that are very strict, still at 680 or 700 as far as FICO is concerned. Those companies weren't in a position to be able to handle the issues that you outlined just in your timeline that you just got done before the virus. And then the virus hit, because they weren't prepared. Now they're subject to having to need a servicer. They're not in a position to service their own loans, and they need that servicer. And those servicers are not purchasing the government loans like they used to before. Wow. So therefore, they can't write the loans.